Well, I'm not doing the intro. Can I drink?
I'm waiting for you so that you can say,
Oh,
and
Ashley.
Ashley.
I do have a part in this.
Hi, this is Maggie.
And Ashley.
And you're listening to The Watering Hole, a place where animals and animal enthusiasts regularly drink. Every episode, we'll talk about different animals and why they're cool, from basic biology to the threats they face and what people are doing about it, all while under the influence.
Cheers! Cheers. Talk about a filler word. I said to drink my beer. For those who have been watching since we started releasing again, you'll know that we record 2 episodes in a night. So we are still drinking our Dirt Farm Brewing beer.
Yeah, which one is this? Because it just tastes very tart.
Yeah, it was the sour one that we had when we were there, which is called... It's not called serving suggestion.
It's on the side. Yeah, there. Right.
Oh, the red nectarine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say the redneck.
The redneck. You know.
Red nectarine. All right.
But yeah, no, it's good. It's just funny because we were drinking a different sour earlier that was like a very sweet sour.
Yeah, but so this is much different. But I like it a lot. Yeah, Dirt Farm is a very fun brewery, and I'm excited to go back.
Yeah.
So I'm really liking this setup now.
Yeah, you've got a dog in your lap, for those who are listening, who's just like kind of draped over your leg, and he's provided a great table for your laptop.
I am doing nothing.
What's your heat level? Because I know if anything,
Take 2?
Argos. I was gonna call him Everett, which is my nephew's name. Then I was gonna call him August, which is my nephew dog's name, and then I got to Argos. Can you flip your microphone?
What's happening with my microphone?
You sturdy your shirt.
Well, I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Okay.
I brushed Argos the other night as I picked dog hair off of my shirt.
Oh yeah, always.
I had more hair than there is Ollie.
You just made another Ollie.
I did, and then some. It was so much dog hair because like Argos blows out his coat twice a year with the different seasons, and it was so much fur. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to my dog park friends, but what wasn't pictured was all of the fur attached to my clothes, which it took, I think, I didn't really count, but after 6 lint roller sheets, I like stopped paying attention. I was like, geez, this is so much. Trying to get it off of my clothes. Just excessive, which I wouldn't have it any other way. But there are definitely outings where I go to places and I'm like, I should probably lint roll the fuck out of my clothes. Yeah. Like last week when we were at the film festival and I was wearing that blazer, I brought the lint roller with me. I was like, this could look really unprofessional really easily. But I do otherwise like this setup. He looks comfy and he's my favorite, so.
Yeah. Flip your mic.
Yeah.
Listen, we're hoping to actually get your audio this time.
Oh, right. We apologize to listeners who had to listen to our last episode in which...
the camera cut out and...
There was a lot going on in the last episode.
There's still a lot going on in this episode.
Namely, the fact that there is a creature in Ashley's ceiling. Now, it's funny, though, because this is a wildlife podcast, and there is wildlife in your ceiling.
Right? They just wanted to be part of it.
So...
That's how popular we are. Wildlife is flocking to be a part of this podcast.
That is, indeed.
So, advertisers.
But, so, I would honestly be freaking out, too, if it was my house. Mm-hmm. I don't think I would be freaking out, like... to the extent that you are, I probably would just be like, oh, this is annoying. Yeah. Like, please go to bed, animal.
I'm definitely much calmer than I would be now that I'm thinking it's a raccoon. Mm-hmm. But I have a horrible rat and mouse phobia. So the idea of rats in my walls makes me want to throw up and just die, honestly. It also helped that we took a shot before we started recording, and that happened.
And we've had a lot to drink.
And then we've had beers, so now it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. Also, so are you one of those people? Now we know your phobia of rodents,
yes.
But are you one of those people where if there's a spider in your house, you freak out, or can you like just safely look at it and say,
Oh, spider's not here.
You don't belong here. I'm gonna let you outside.
I mean, sometimes when they're like, you know, you're in the shower and you see one, I'll be like, ooh, but I'm not like, oh, I need to kill you or something like that. No.
Yeah. So
usually I'm pretty, spiders. I'm like, oh, how
or
do
any
I get
other
you? Or
thing.
any other bug.
Or like million-legger.
I don't like the little silverfish or whatever.
When are you around silverfish in your apartment?
No, they're buggies. You know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Maybe they're just house centipedes. These guys.
Oh yeah, they're pretty. No, I'm not a fan.
No,
not a fan of those at all.
I remember we would have them I feel like we had them all the time when I lived in Buffalo.
So I don't mind bugs or spiders in my house.
I don't like it when they move really fast.
Yeah, and if you have
but nothing compared to my reaction to seeing a rodent in the wild.
If you have more than 8 legs, I don't want you in my house.
Yeah.
If I see you outside, I don't care.
No.
It's like you respect my space, I'll respect yours.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, well, this is all just to detract from the fact that...
there's something living in my ceiling.
Yeah.
Struggling. So, we'll see. We'll get an update next podcast, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be gone and safe and freed. That's cute.
Anywho, okay, so I've got an animal for you, and I've got a great clue, but not a whole lot of info. You'll see why. Okay.
Right. It feels like Maggie.
Clue. It's an abominable crustacean.
Oh, it's a yeti crab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those things are so cool. And I know nothing about them other than I've seen a picture of one.
Yes. So.
And yeti crab is
a good name, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Accurate.
Okay. So if you're wondering, yeti crabs, they're those crabs that live in the deep sea,
deep down,
next to those on those hydrothermal vents that you see in like the abyss that are like spewing thousands of degrees of like sulfuric
stuff,
water, and I don't know what it's in the water, but it's not actually spewing water. It's volcanic. It's really hot. So
I know exactly what you mean.
So the reason that we don't have a ton of information about these animals actually is because they were only just discovered in March of 2005.
Oh shit.
It is March when we are recording this, so happy anniversary of being discovered, yeti crabs.
Congrats, yeti crabs. Do you think they sell balloons with that? Congrats on being discovered!
Given that these are a sea creature, I really hope they don't sell balloons.
No, that's true. That's a good one.
I do want to say cakes maybe.
Okay.
When we clapped, Argos wagged his tail a little bit.
He's our biggest supporter. Him and my mom. They can duke it out.
Tonight, I asked Adam on the phone. I was like, "Have you listened to any of the new season?" He's like, "Part of it."
Thanks, Adam.
Long pause. I was like, "I mean, okay." And he goes, "I'm driving a lot tomorrow. I'll catch up."
That's fine.
I was like, "Thanks. You're only like our 3rd listener."
It's only one,
Okay,
we can check the stats later.
As you just alluded to, it is so named the yeti crab because it looks like it's fresh out of the Himalayas, and it's related to
furry.
the yeti. Yeah,
very furry. And white.
And white, yes. So it doesn't have any pigment because it doesn't have any need. Like, it doesn't have to expend any energy towards making any kind of color of itself or for any purpose. As I said, they were recently discovered, and based on their molecular data, this is a new biological family.
Dang.
That we never knew existed. It does have one other known member of its family, and that was discovered later in 2006. So the yeti crab's name in Latin is Kiwa hirsuta, and its family relative is Kiwa pura vida, which Pura Vida is kind of like Costa Rica's tagline.
Yeah.
I tried to look into why it was given this name, and there was no clear No clear answer on the first like page of Google, but
Yeah.
I am assuming that whomever discovered it, it was discovered like off the coast either of Costa Rica, like way out in the Pacific, or
Yeah.
it was discovered by a Costa Rican biologist. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There is probably some reason, and it probably came out in the news back in 2006.
And Maggie was like, I'm just not gonna dig that
And
far back.
well, I would have liked to have dug.
Dug.
I would have liked to have dug that far into it, but as per usual, I was reading about this animal when we were starting to record the last episode. So,
Well, I was making us dinner.
that's true. You
folks.
were. So this animal
freeze
has
our food.
imagine it kind of looks like a crab.
Yeah.
It has super tiny eyes, if any.
Ooh.
It's just because they don't need them down in the deep sea abyss where
Don't
it is
need 'em.
pitch black. Their forearms, really, I'm saying this kind of in like, this is not the technical term. It's
Yeah.
not the forearms. It's the arms that have the pinchers. They look prickly or hairy, and it's because they are kind of furry. But these furs contain a specific kind of bacteria that detoxifies
Stop.
the sulfuric poisonous minerals that are coming out of the vents.
What?
Yeah. So they're making.
So it's just like covered in like filters.
Yeah. So they're making their own ecosystem. That's what's really incredible.
What?
So the deep sea, we know so little about it, and every time we discover a new creature down there, we're like, how is life even existent down here? And these particular animals are making that ecosystem with their prickly arms. They also this process, by the way, I did write that down, is known as chemosynthesis.
Ooh.
Fun word for you. It also turns out that they eat another kind of bacteria primarily. They'll eat a few other things like smaller protozoa, but I guess that is bacteria, but they're kind of like omnivore-ish.
Gotcha.
They are sometimes referred to as a furry lobster because they kind of look like it in just purely how they look.
Yeah.
But they're actually a squat lobster, which is a proper name for a type of crab. Squat lobster. I love it. It just means they're more closely related to hermit crabs and regular crabs
Squat lobster.
than true lobsters.
Sorry, real quick.
Please.
I was taking notes. We had a meeting the other day, and I started to take notes in like my notes app on my computer, and then switched at some point. But the only thing I wrote down was lobster. Now, luckily, we were talking about how eating lobster is bad if you like right whales, because right whales get entangled in
it is.
lobster traps. But all I wrote was lobster. That was the only thing on the page.
That's
it.
Don't you hate when that happens when you're like, I intend to take notes?
Right?
And then-
I was like, my intentions were so good. But also, why did I start with just lobster? Like, what? Start and finish right there. That wasn't even the first thing we talked about.
What
in
was
that
your brain
meeting.
thinking in that moment? Like,
Lobster. Move on.
oh, great.
Lobster.
Well, I wish I could tell you a little bit more about these crabs, except for they are found in the Pacific. We know they exist there in those deep sea vents, so don't go looking for them in the
In general,
Arctic
don't go looking
or
for them.
Atlantic.
They're very deep down. How deep down are they?
So
I segued into my own question.
about 7,200 feet.
That's a lot.
Yes. They live like amongst rocks, behind rocks, or actually along the sea vents. Also, just for comparison, the hydrothermal vents that they live near or on or feed on even, those were discovered in the 1970s. And this particular species was not discovered until 2005, as I said. So I think that's
It's
kind of...
also so new.
Isn't it crazy that it took us that long to see that there were live animals walking around the vent? Anyway, I think it's very cool. So there's still a lot of evolving information about these animals. If you would like to see them, not in real life, but on the big screen, the DC Environmental Film Festival just featured a film by Jason Momoa called Deep Rising that includes a little bit of information about the hydrothermal vents, less the crabs. But if you want to just kind of get up close into their world, I recommend.
Nice.
Anywho, those are Yeti crabs.
Woo! Do we know like how many there are? Like population size? Nothing.
Oh no, we have not.
We got
a clue.
nothing. All right,
No.
all right. That's fair. I'll take it. Woo!
So there you go. Oh, I will say though, thanks Adam for the suggestion.
If you're listening.
If you're actually listening. I was on the phone with him on the way here. I was like, I need a second animal.
So legit, you were starting your research as you were here. Yeah. Good to know. I can always count on that. Yeah. Meanwhile, I was hanging photos.
Trying to look all professional.
Oh my God. All right, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. We are staying
underwater?
Under the sea.
It's funny how we have themes and we don't even realize
We don't even plan it. I don't really have a clue for this one because I don't know really how I would give one for this specific species. But generally I can give you a clue. All right. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This species, I have a version of this in my apartment.
Well,
I don't know that it narrows it down. I have a lot of wildlife.
So there's a lot of
stuff.
rhinos.
But ready?
There's a lot of underwater things
Okay.
here.
Your dog was playing with it earlier.
Oh, so a nudibranch or
I got a sea slug for you.
Sea slug.
A nudibranch. Okay. So for our listeners and for everybody, my sister got me a sea slug dog toy.
It wasn't an actual sea
for
slug.
Christmas. Which Ollie doesn't really, she got it for Ollie, and he doesn't really play with toys, so it's really just decor. But occasionally he'll pull it out, and Argos will pull it out, but it's so friggin' cute. But yeah, so I decided to do one of my favorite nudibranchs, or sea slugs. I think you can use it interchangeably. I don't really know. But I'm doing the opalescent nudibranch.
Okay.
Do you know this one?
No, I'm not really that familiar or versed in all the different nudibranchs.
In all things nudibranch?
Yeah.
So I saw this guy a lot because they are in the Pacific Northwest, and I volunteered at the Seattle Aquarium for a fleeting moment. It was really fun, but they had like a sea slug display basically at one point, and so they had a bunch of these nudibranchs. And what was really cool, I guess, plug for the Seattle Aquarium, is that the touch pool at the Seattle Aquarium is the same water is out in the ocean. Like it's an open vent system.
Monterey Bay Aquarium does that too.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So like nudibranchs would literally, like larvae would come in, and then it's in the tide pools and the touch pools.
Oh, that's so neat.
So like they would just get new ones. But these guys in particular, I think they were the ones, they'd often have to remove them so that they didn't eat other creatures.
Oh, wow.
So they had to be careful.
Okay.
But so the opalescent nudibranch, or the Hermescendra crassicornis, obviously. One of my favorite sea slugs. What do they look like? So first of all, they look fucking cool. I mean, just like go on a deep dive of sea slugs because they're all so cool.
Is this kind of like the flatworms that we did a couple episodes ago, where like there are so many and they can look so beautiful and cool?
Very vivid colors, really unique colors. One of my favorite things about sea slugs is somebody once, I think I showed you this, the comparison of David Bowie, often dressed.
Yes.
Somehow very similar to a lot of sea slugs.
Okay, we're going to have to include this link somewhere in
wild.
the show notes or the YouTube description, because this link that you showed me, I remember, I want to know, did David Bowie get inspiration from sea slugs?
He had to, because they are
Fashion
so specific. So similar. It's wild.
And he looked amazing.
So good. So fucking good. It was wild.
Cool.
So these guys in particular, their body's kind of like a milky white color.
Got it.
Is that what opalescent means? Like kind of see-through but not fully?
I don't know. You got the computer. You want to look it up?
What does opalescent mean?
Opalescent.
I'm thinking of opaque. Opalescence. It's giving me teeth whitening. That's not what I want.
Would you like to be whiter in your mouth?
A lustrous play of colors like that of an opal. Okay, which opals are that like milky white kind of color.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought they were more like onyx. Okay. Look at your ears. They're just so nice.
This is an opal.
Oh.
So it kind of like tinges of blue, which
yeah.
makes sense. Anyway, so they're this milky white color.
Okay.
And then they kind of have like these little facial projections that come out on the side. And they're like lined with neon blue.
Whoa.
Yeah, like very bright neon blue. And then on their back, they're covered with long, thin serrata, which are like finger-like projections that kind of make them look like they're furry. A little bit thicker, but like very... Think of like those like squishy, do you remember those like smushy, squishy balls or whatever that you would like
koosh ball?
get? Like a koosh, yeah. Kind of like a koosh.
Oh man, wow, I really liked kooshes.
Right? They were good.
There were different kinds of kooshes.
Good times.
Take me back to the 90s.
Take me back to the kooshes.
So wait, are these kooshinesses, is that for a reason? Like
respiration, baby.
Okay.
But yeah, so they have these serrata on their back, these finger-like projections. They're used for respiration, but they're also this like iridescent orange at the tip, so it kind of looks like little tiny flames. But they're pretty small. They only grow.
Do we know why? Why they're these colors?
I don't know.
Just because they can be?
Maybe.
Which
There's
is the
probably a
best part of
reason.
nature?
I mean, most things that are like bright colors are like don't eat me. Is what they're going for. Flip your mind. But they only grow up to 3 inches or 8 centimeters in length. So they're little babies. They're little guys.
Just like those flatworms.
Right? So where do they live? They live Alaska, south to North Carolina.
Okay, so
West
Alaska
Coast.
to North Carolina, you just said?
Northern California. They go all the way around through all the lakes and streams. No, Alaska to Northern California.
Okay.
Along the coast. They live in a variety of habitats, including mudflats, rocky areas, eelgrass beds, and even among man-made structures like docks and floats, so like relatively shallow waters.
Oh, okay.
So some cool things about the opalescent nudibranchs, other than that they're just like really cool and cute. They eat hydroids, which are basically tiny relatives of the jellyfish and anemones, which are notoriously known for stinging. So they have what are called nematocysts, which are stinging cells. But what's cool is that these don't harm the nudibranch, and in fact, the animal, the opalescent nudibranch, transfers some of its prey's unfired nematocysts. Sorry. Unfired nematocysts, so the stinging cells, transfers it to the tips of their own serrata, where they become a part of their own defense system. But these guys will eat those hydroids and anemones with the stinging cells, and they take the stinging cells that have not been fired, so have not been like activated, I guess, and take them and basically like absorb them and put them into their own little back figures.
So it's kind of like what Black Panther's vibranium suit does when he's getting beat up.
Yep.
And then he redisperses that. Yeah, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I know, to a certain extent.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yep. Take your enemy and you just
Redistribute.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on. So, yeah, you finish that beer.
Okay.
Opalescent nudibranchs. So they live on. There's no dog to catch that spillage. So sad.
Sorry, can't put it on my dog again.
No. So they live less than a year, so they need to reproduce quickly.
Oh.
They need to move.
Okay.
So when there is a meeting between two or more, in order to be most successful, they have a mutual mating session, since they're hermaphroditic. So they're male and females, so they can both get pregnant. They inseminate each other.
Okay, so unlike the penis fencing flatworm,
Correct.
where neither of them want to be the female, but they both can be,
Right.
these
guys
both just...
both want to be. Because they don't live for very long, and so in order to reproduce,
Okay.
they're like, we're going to make this work.
So that's what it means by mutual mating.
I think so.
Not just consensual, it's more like we both need to be...
I don't know if they both get impregnated, but they both can... So like if two males were to meet, they couldn't do anything. But
you said they're hermaphroditic.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying if they were just two males, if they weren't hermaphroditic, meetings would be less beneficial.
Right.
But since they're hermaphrodites, every meeting is beneficial because they can take on either role, basically. Later, they each lay eggs in these like string coils. They kind of look like little sausage links. And then they coil up.
Cool.
And they're just like little white. They're not nearly as gross as other things we've talked about today. Stop making that face. Opalescent nudibranchs are very aggressive fighters.
Whoa.
So when two of them meet,
Who'd have thunk nudibranch?
Who would have thunk nudibranch? They're so small, but they're so feisty. When two of them meet head to head, they're likely to lunge into a biting battle. You know, gotta get them. And if one meets the tail of the other and gets the first bite, it usually wins the battle and consumes the loser.
Whoa.
So if one gets to the back end
first
of another nudibranch,
just gonna chomp away like a Pac-Man.
We'll eat them. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Which was really fun to watch because when I was at the Seattle Aquarium, they had like a small tank that was full of these nudibranchs.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times they just like hang out and sit, but then you would like see one on a move and you'd be like, where is it going? What are you doing? And you would like see it approach a small one and you'd be like, come on, you can get away. So it was the drama of the nudibranch tanks was quite elaborate.
I do want to just pause and kind of expand on what you just started on, and that is observing wildlife. Like, Argos and I live very close to a forest, and so every morning we're out in nature, and I highly encourage any person to just, wherever you are, even if there's just like a park bench and a tree, or you live in a city and all you can see are like the birds and the trees, like pick an individual animal and just
I love doing this.
And just watch it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick up so much of what this animal is doing and thinking and processing, and it's really kind of fun. Like, I mean, like I said, Argos and I are outside in the woods and we live along a stream, and so just today I was looking for fish in a particularly clear patch.
Perfect.
And I found several different ones, and I just kind of watched them to see like, oh, is this one foraging right now? Is it looking for fish? And this was really only a matter of 5 minutes. You can pick up so much. Anyway, because I think on the surface level, when people hear you say, oh, I just sat and watched the nudibranchs at the Seattle Aquarium, it's kind of like, what? No. Like, this can all happen in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Just park yourself somewhere, anywhere, and just pick one animal and watch it. It's really fun.
It's really cool. You'll see you'll learn like the dynamic, not learn, but obviously like you can make it up in your head, but just like you'll see like, oh, okay, clearly there's like something going on with this pair. Like they do not like each other.
Yeah.
Or like he's trying to find something. I don't know. It just feels like a little mini drama that's always occurring.
I know. I just went on a little bit of a pedestal rant there, but I think it's a really cool, accessible way for anybody to feel their connection to wildlife, and like
wildlife is not like just a fleeting moment passing by. Like keep an eye on it, and you'll be like, oh fuck, what are you doing? Wait, what? What did you just find? Like.
Totally.
Your dog is so loud sometimes.
My dog is the loudest. Unfortunately, the cammers don't always pick this up.
No.
But no, I think that's good. Sorry to interrupt.
No
worries. We're talking about like them eating.
And that's it.
The smaller ones.
The only thing I had left was a note about conservation. Nudibranchs, like I said, are often found on rocky shores where pollution can often be pretty heavy. Yeah. So really, that's their biggest threat. So you can help by keeping oceans clean, properly disposing of motor oils, paint solvents, and other harmful materials. Don't just flush them down the drain. But yeah, that's nudibranchs. Short and sweet. But
love it.
I just think they're super cool. Look up a picture of them. If you're watching the YouTube video, you'll have seen a picture of them. But they're just so cool. You can go, down such a rabbit hole looking at nudibranchs because they're just like all over the goddamn fucking place.
Didn't nudibranchs kind of inspire part of Alice in Wonderland? Too?
I would not be surprised because
of the color schemes.
Very psychedelic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad we went into the ocean for this episode. What a special day. Special day, and whatever creature's in your ceiling has gone to sleep for the night.
That's what we're going with. He's just settled down. I mean, I hope he or she has left, but I think they're tired.
Freed itself. Oh,
yeah.
How sad. Anywho, well, thanks for telling me. No, I don't do the exit. I don't do the outro.
I did it last time.
Yeah, you had to do both because I did both. We alternate, right?
You want me to just do the closing?
Whoever does the intro doesn't do the outro.
Oh, that's not what we did the last episode we just recorded.
The episode we just recorded, we did with you as the intro and outro because...
You wanted to even it out?
I wanted to even it out because there was an episode recently where I did both intro and outro.
So just as a reminder, though we are animal enthusiasts, we are not scientists. Do your own research. We just want you to get excited about these animals like we are. Thanks for joining us on this episode. If you like our podcast, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening and leave us a review. It'll help us reach more animal enthusiasts just like you. Yeah, I added a jest. You can also find us on Instagram at The Watering Hole Pod, on YouTube at The Watering Hole Pod, and you can visit us at our website. Guess what it is? TheWateringHolePod.com. Tune in next time when we learn about more animals, their biology and habitat, the threats they face, and what people are doing about it. And maybe you'll find out if it was a raccoon that was in my ceiling or something else. Bye.